All right, breaking news. We have just obtained some of the key evidence shown in court today during Donald Trump's hush money trial, including this photo of Michael Cohen standing in the White House press briefing room on February 8th, 2017. And we also have a trove of text messages that Cohen sent, including a batch of back and forths with the person you see on your screen there, former Trump close aide Hope Hicks. Now, both of them are expected to be called to testify in this case. The first text between them was shown on November 4th, 2016. That's 4 days before the election. Cohen says to Hicks, "Call me." Other texts admitted into evidence also appear to show Cohen and Hicks repeatedly discussing the Stormy Daniels allegations. Out front now, Omarosa Manigault-Newman, a former senior advisor to Donald Trump, also worked with Michael Cohen, and of course knew Trump because she was a contestant on the first season of The Apprentice and is the author of Unhinged, an insider's account of the Trump White House, where, of course, you spent plenty of time, Omarosa. So, okay.
So I think I took the picture you just
You
showed.
took that picture.
I really think that I took that picture because I escorted Michael when he came for that visit in February of 2017 and took him around. His daughter was my intern in the White House, Samantha. She's wonderful. But yeah, I think I took that picture.
Okay, well, that's funny. There you go. And your stuff's being admitted for evidence. Okay, so when these back and forth conversations between, text conversations between Hope Hicks and Michael Cohen, they're talking about the Stormy Daniels allegations. Hope Hicks obviously was press secretary. She was communications director for the campaign.
Yeah.
I remember interviewing him once, and it's literally, at that point, it was him and Hope.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she was inner circle as inner circle gets.
Because there was only like 14 of us at the beginning.
Right. I mean, it was very small. So then she goes on to become the White House communications director. But the texts that we know of show discussing the allegations. Do you think, or how much do you think Hope Hicks may know about what was done about the allegations, the hush money payment?
Well, there's no question that she knew every single aspect of it. In fact, it was her job to know. And it was also her job to manage it and then manage the messaging around it. So I was really surprised when she initially asserted that she knew nothing about it. But now all of the information that's coming out and the evidence shows that she knew more than she admitted.
And we do expect her to be called to testify. So we're gonna find out, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of those messages. Kellyanne Conway could also be a potential witness on this. Now, she was Trump's campaign manager at the time. She has denied having any knowledge about the payment to Stormy Daniels. Of course, we'll see when she's on the stand what she would say. But Paula Reed, our reporter who's been covering this so extensively, she said the testimony with Kellyanne could focus really in on the Access Hollywood tape and sort of the OMG moment that it created for the campaign. You know, the feeling of, okay, we're done, unless we do something dramatic. What would you expect to hear from her?
Well, I remember the release of that tape because we were on a bus tour, Women for Trump bus tour. I think we were in North Carolina.
Trump, how appropriate. Okay.
I know, how random.
And a bus tour.
And Kellyanne actually dispatched us to those battleground states. And we all had to get on a call right before the release. And there it was. It was the biggest bombshell of the campaign. We thought that that was the end. Kellyanne was central to all of those conversations, and probably the urgency of having to handle the Stormy Daniels situation really stemmed from that Access Hollywood release.
And you know, in those moments, Omarosa, when we try to understand what role Trump played, right, and in this case, whether he directed that payment and the falsification of business documents, what was his reaction, and what did he say in that contemporaneously in that moment about Stormy Daniels or about needing to do something about it?
Donald's, his directive is always, you guys just fix it. Don't tell me how you do it, just fix it. Which is why Michael Cohen was so key in his relationship with Trump, in the Trump organization. For us on the call, he's like, you guys handle it. Once it's all taken care of, you know, just come back to me. I didn't want to know the nuances. But he is also really down to the minutia of everything. If you've ever been to Trump Tower, Donald Trump knows who's working concession in the lobby.
No, he absolutely does. Or who's selling the cufflinks at the stand in the lobby.
How many cufflinks were sold that day?
Yes.
And so you're not going to get the American public to believe now that you were not intimately involved with things that were happening in your organization, in and out, day in and out, for at least a month and a half. It's just not believable.
Let me ask you this. Do you, though, when you say that the attitude on the call from Trump was sort of, okay, you guys take care of this and then get back to me, is the door open for you to him knowing full well that whatever Cohen was doing might have been quite unsavory,
Right.
but not actually knowing what it was himself. Is
That's
that
not possible.
It's not
That's
possible.
not how Donald Trump operates.
So if it came to a payment to a Stormy Daniels, he knew.
He knew, he directed. I absolutely believe Michael Cohen, because he fixed so many other situations in the 17 years that I was a part of that, working in that organization.
Right.
Michael was the fixer. It's not just a saying, he actually did the things. I know people play down his role as an attorney, but he was actually really, really good at managing legal situations for Donald, extinguishing sticky situations, not just with Stormy Daniels, but so many that I'm surprised he's not shared with the American public, because he has so many things that he had to deal with that I personally know, and I think Donald knows, that Michael hasn't even.
He knows so many skeletons that
He has
even with
so
this
many
enmity
things.
now, he has not shared.
He has not shared everything that he knows. Donald knows that. Michael knows that. I know that.
All right, Omarosa, thank you very much.
Yeah, good to see you.
It's good
my
to see you
friend.
and to see you in person.
Yes.
And